Welcome to Triumph IAS. It's a daily mains practice question and answer series. This program is exclusively designed for UPSC CSE aspirants. In this video discussion, we will discuss UPSC CSE mains previous 25-year questions. Question number 1. Do we have cultural pockets of small India all over the nation? Elaborate with examples. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. The basic idea is that within a bigger, overarching culture, we can develop and sustain a different culture is called cultural pockets. The main body of the answer should be number 1. Perhaps more than in any other part of the world, India is a country where people have come to acquire multiple identities based on region, e.g. North India, Northeast India, Deccan and South India, language, e.g. Hindi, Tamil, and Telugu, religion, e.g. Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Jain, and Sikh, etc. Number 2. Each set of these and other identities corresponding to a distinct set of social relations, i.e., a distinct social structure. However, there are threads which bind many of them together. Number 3. Therefore, understanding Indian social structure is necessary because it explains our relations with each other in society. It tells us what kind of social institutions exist in society and how they got modified over a period of time. Number 4. Our cultural identities are based on various factors such as religion and region. As a result, each Indian possesses multiple identities. Number 5. Which of these identities asserts itself at a certain point of time and prevails over the others depends on the political, social or economic context in which the person finds himself/herself. Number 6. Thus each person may have some things in common with another, but may be vastly different in some other aspects. For example, except belief, forms of worship and rituals, there may be little that is common among those who follow a particular faith from the point of view of the whole country. Conclusion of the answer is: even in the forms of worship and rituals there are sectarian and regional differences. Ethnic culture is strong among the tribal groups. For example, in the small state of Nagaland, there are more than a dozen tribes and they differ from each other in their dress, speech and beliefs. Bastar district of Chhattisgarh has several groups claiming different ethnic origins. Question number 1. A national Lokpal, however strong it may be, cannot resolve the problems of immorality in public affairs. Discuss. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. The Lokpal should, if the law is enforced in letter and spirit, be effective in bringing to book those who violate the anti-corruption law. Whether that will bring an end to corruption in India is quite another matter. The answer to that question necessitates, in the first instance, an examination of the anatomy of corruption. The main body of the answer should be: number 1. At the lower levels, corruption is on account of an inspector Raj regime coupled with pitiful salaries paid in disproportion to the powers exercised by these functionaries. At the higher levels, corruption has two major causes apart for sheer greed. Number 2. Discretionary powers in distribution of largesse is the source. Financing elections is an inexcusable need. At present, fighting corruption requires more than government policy, laws, tools and legal system. It requires awareness of our social responsibility, moral values, excellence in our daily work, etc. Number 3. We need role models, campaigns, debates, and many different approaches to educate our people, to inspire our young generations, to change the mindset of corrupt people and to tackle with every cause. Conclusion of the answer is: moreover, it needs willingness, commitment, and active participation of media, civic associations, voluntary groups, teachers, students, social workers, etc. Thus, an overall socialization of citizens at various levels: family, peer group, schools and other public and private organizations is needed to impart values of ethics and integrity in life to resolve the problems of immorality in public affairs. Question number 1. Mob violence is emerging as a serious law and order problem in India. By giving suitable examples, analyze the causes and consequences of such violence. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Mob violence is the involvement of a crowd in unlawful activities with an evil motive. Most of the times the persons involved in heinous crime during this type of violence escape unpunished as crowd do not have any face. This becomes the most important nuisance for the maintenance of law and order. The main body of the answer should be number 1. The frequency of the violent activities become rampant and it turned into a planned practice of committing crime and hence a grave serious law and order problem in absence of APT crackdown. Number 2. Mob violence is not confined to a particular issue. It is the mob who took turns to rape, kill, injure a person or damage a property as observed during several riots, be it for pretext of community, statehood, reservation or any other problem. Number 3. It was the mob which was responsible for Murthal Kand during agitation for Jat reservation. It was the mob which killed a police officer in Bulandashar, and again it was the mob that lynched a person during Dadri beef violence. Number 4. In totality, mob violence is neither limited to a particular region nor a religion. The only common thing among it is the crime committed by a mob, and the mob hailed the crime as self-conceived way of delivering justice. There are various reasons responsible for rising mob violence, but the common factor in most of these cases are lack of mutual trust among different groups, communities, etc. The act of being less tolerance or intolerance towards each other's belief, cultural practices, is also one of the main reasons. Number 5. Delayed justice, denial of justice or lack of respect for law is also a major factor. In addition, it is the baseless rumors backed by social media and political vendetta which is responsible for being the instant factor behind the surge of mob violence. Number 6. The consequences of these sorts of illegal practices create an adverse effect on society, and it gets stratified on the basis of fear and hate. Number 7. This further aggravates the mistrust and friction among different groups, communities, and the one group try to show their dominance over others. Number 8. This all led to division of the society, and the economic and social development takes backstage. In this scenario, the political representation is demanded on the narrow basis of caste, community, religion, or any trivial issue, and conclusion of the answer is: in this era of information boom, these incidents not go unnoticed, and the international community perceives the image of the country based on these incidents. Thus, the social as well as economical development of the country is hampered on account of the madness of mob violence, which also affects the integrity of the nation as a unit.